Hi there, my name is Kayla Johnson, and I'm going to be talking to you about the collaborative tool called PenPal Schools. So this can be found at penpalschools.com, and when you get to the site, all you have to do is click sign up or log in. So the first time when I logged on, I actually had to sign up. So you click log in, which I think I'm already logged in. I highly recommend watching the startup video that is on the login page because it allows you to see how the students can connect with each other from all over the world. And this collaborative tool is more than just writing a letter, which I will explain shortly. So PenPal Schools is a collaborative tool that allows students to connect with each other from across the world. And they actually work on a project together. So after you sign up, you actually have to get an administrator to verify that you are working within a school district just to protect children and things like that. So you do have to use your school email to sign up, and then that email will be sent to your principal to verify, and then once that happens you can actually log on your homepage. So this is my homepage here, and when you sign up you get 2 projects for free, but then after that you will have to pay for a plan to use. And the plan is $1,900 for a year, or you can get a quote if you need less time than a year or more time than a year. Now, I'm not sure how that is because I do know that it was a lengthy process and you had to fill out paperwork and then the people would contact you and things like that. So it was kind of a lengthy process if you're interested in buying this for a year. So when you're able to log in, you will select a project. So my project that I selected is called Animal and Plant Adaptations. So it's actually located down here. I did find that the site was a little overwhelming, and it took me a good couple hours to actually be able to write what I was going to say for this collaborative tool, and then till I experimented it, I don't know, it just took a really long time. So it's definitely not something that you can just sit down and use right away. You have to actually go in and create the student portfolios, and it takes time. So just be aware of that. So if I click my project here, this is what the students are going to be expected to work their way through. Okay, so what the students have to do here, it says 3 different rules that they have. Students around the world are already participating in this project. Invite your students to enroll. So your students do have to enroll with your class code, and my class code, my project code is over here. So when you go to get started, say on this particular project, you would give this code to your students, and then their screen would look like this. I'm going to click lesson preview here, and this is what they would see. So this project is actually for students, I would say 3rd grade and up, because the vocabulary is just intense. There's a lot of vocab here. So like I said, this is what the students would see if they were to log in and use PenPal Schools. They have an essential question, and then they read down through the facts. They can look at the pictures, and in some cases there's actually a video for them to watch. So if we would happen to go to the next one, the actual lesson, there's a video that the students would be able to watch. So I found what's really cool is that after the students go down through this whole lesson, I mean it's pretty lengthy, they have to come back up here to the top and then answer the question. Describe an animal that lives in your community. After identifying its scientific name, describe the animal's features and behaviors. So after they respond to that question, it will pop up down here, and they're actually able to see students from all over the world's answers. It's actually really cool. So I did a little bit of experimenting, and I ended up talking about a white-tailed deer that was in my community that I lived in. And then unfortunately right now I can't see the answers because I'm in my teacher mode. But all these students here have answered that question, and then I could actually go in and respond to what they said. So that's really neat. So the students can work through that, and then plants, then they have animals, and then at the very end, there is a reflection piece. Answer one or more of the reflection questions. So those are located down here. Again, once you answer that question, you can see the responses from other students who are all over the world. So I'm going to take a step back and go back to the overview page. And what's really neat is that students can select one of these projects to work on, option 1, option 2, or option 3, or option 4. And I'm going to go ahead and here and click Explore Projects, because once students have selected a project, they post it to this kind of like discussion board. And then again, you can see students' answers from all over the world. And do you see here how the students are in groups? That's because they've actually worked together with somebody else to create this project. So I just think that this is neat because you're getting experience not only from your point of view, but other students from around the world. It even says here like these students are from the United States, but in some cases, like this one, I believe that's Brazil. I mean, it was really cool just to see where some of these students are located and how they're using this in their classroom. Alright, so as far as connecting this to our classroom, I said that this is a collaborative tool would be considered asynchronous. One of the collaborative tools is the discussion question that is located on the side of every lesson. Like I said, after students submit their answer, they can actually read other students' answers and reply to them. And I believe if you click on these discussions, you're also able to add here, you can add your own comments. So it's, again, really neat. So as far as connecting this to social presence, for effective association, I think that there are emotional connections built in with this tool because many of the questions ask students to bring their own viewpoints and discussions into play. And they're able to connect using emotion throughout, these kind of discussion boards here. With community cohesion, it definitely brings a community cohesion as it allows students from all over the world to connect with one another. And one thing that it lacks, however, is kind of the teacher as the leader, because the teacher just kind of assigns the projects rather than actually contributing to the discussions. I'm sure I could go in and probably add here, but I would be responding to people all over the world. So for instructor involvement, again, I don't think that this is a great tool in having the instructor be involved just because there's no real face-to-face interaction, since it is asynchronous and the students can do whatever project they want after the teacher assigns it. And interaction intensity, I would say that there's a low level of interaction here. Besides the students answering and doing their research, there's not much face-to-face interaction that happens. And then knowledge of experience, when the teacher assigns the projects for students to join, there's a lot of interaction that takes place, and the other students can share their prior knowledge and experience and bring a lot to the discussion board, which I kind of already hinted at. So looking at Rice's text in Table 5.3, I think that PenPal Schools is used for project-based learning, classroom-to-classroom sharing, collaborative sharing, and writing, and student-led discussions. And connecting this to the project that I had done for Module 2, I don't really think that this tool could be used to teach my phonics lesson because to me, it's just, the projects are already outlined here. Like I could go here and join another project, but they're already selected for me. I can't make any of the projects on my own. So I just think that all these projects are really high for my students. Like it says here for ages 8+ in a lot of these categories that students would be working through. So I just don't think that this would be age appropriate for my students, and also it's just so much on the tool here to use and to look at that I just think it would be more of a waste of time to kind of use this. I'd really have to teach my first graders how to use every single step rather than kind of just setting them free. Like honestly, I think even middle school age would be more appropriate than even 8 years old, because 8 years old they're about in 3rd grade, and some of this is just way too intense, I think. So overall I had a really nice time, good time viewing this tool. It's definitely neat that you can connect with students from all over the world. However, like I said, I just don't think that it would be appropriate for elementary school. But who knows? Hopefully, maybe you can find this tool useful in your own classroom.